So, Henry, hit me with the second topic. Where are we going?
My second topic is Johnny Depp.
All right.
So no, I don't know anything about this.
Okay, so you want to talk about Johnny Depp specifically because of this this one thing that happened. So what happened?
So there's this recent controversy is Johnny Depp and his wife recently separated. Mm-hmm. I don't think it's full divorce yet.
She filed for divorce. I don't think he signed divorce. Anything.
On accounts of physical and emotional abuse.
Yeah. I forget she's also sort of famous, right? I'm trying to remember what she's from.
Not sure.
And she's like the age difference is like pretty big. She's in like her mid to late 20s, and he's
how old is he nowadays?
God, he's like
40s.
No, he's like 50.
Jesus Christ.
Late 40s, early 50s.
Damn.
He looks so good. Fucking makes me ashamed. It's like whenever I see Tom Hawkins, I just want to stay inside all the time. I never want to show my face. Piece of shit. Yeah, so...
And she came out with all this evidence, like first-hand accounts.
Yeah, and that's the...
Audio evidence, visual evidence.
Yeah. There's some questionable things with the visual evidence because... No, she said that she recently was like hit in the head and she showed like a bruise or something. And then that was like recently, and there was like a picture like from a few days ago, like on Instagram, where she didn't have that bruise. And like through that, between then and the picture that she showed, Johnny Depp was like in another country. He wasn't even like where she was. So there's like some weird shit going on with Johnny Depp right now. So where did you want to go with this topic? Like, what guide us?
I think where I wanted to go with this topic was how could we better react to when celebrity figures, stuff like this happens?
So like celebrity controversies and sort of just like how the general public should...
Especially because I think this is a good topic for when we have a British person on, because of everything that happens with the BBC hosts.
What happens with the BBC hosts?
Well, you know, people like Jimmy Savile.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, he's pretty dodgy.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's up with him?
So Jimmy Savile was this... Actually, you can better explain this.
Well, no, so he abused his power, really, of being a very famous host and radio DJ. And he used to, basically, it's horrific. He used to, sexually abuse women and molest children and horrible shit.
There are hundreds of victims.
But so he was abusing his power of being being an idol, being someone they look up to.
With Jim will fix it.
Yeah, and so they'd be, he's a complete idol, and then he would abuse that power, and it was horrible. I think that's a slightly different case to the Johnny Depp one though, because Johnny Depp is. People unfortunately do that kind of stuff all the time, but because he is so famous,
we make a big deal about it. It
becomes so public. Whereas if some dude, the dude who lived next door, beat up his wife, it would be horrific. But he'd just get arrested and nothing would happen. And then it would kind of just fade into the background quite quickly.
Yeah, and that's the thing with celebrities is a lot of things get overlooked by them, and that's a fucked up thing that also bleeds into politics, right? Is Hillary Clinton should be in jail. If she was anybody else, if she was not running, if she did not have the name Hillary Clinton, this shit would be over with. She would be in jail. It would be no question. But because she has that name, because politics in our country are given the attention like celebrities, they get away with a ton of more shit.
Like what just happened with that recent Speaker of the House.
Oh, I don't know about this.
So there's a Speaker of the House. I believe he was in power during the Bush administration, where he recently went to jail because it was found that in his time working as a gym coach, he sexually assaulted a lot of the boys in, I think it was his wrestling class.
Right. Okay.
It's always wrestling gym teachers.
This was a few months ago, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I thought this was a new recent thing.
No.
But it's just
And he only got 1.5 months in jail.
Yeah, and that's just... We need to stop treating celebrities and politicians especially with the sense of oh, but you serve our country, you do us so much good that you don't need to do... Your life is just so stressful. Let's not... You only get 1.5 months in jail. That's complete and utter bullshit. Because they see that. They abuse, like you were saying earlier, like they abuse that power because they know that they can get away with that kind of shit.
Sometimes it flips though, and sometimes they do get made an example of where they get absolutely destroyed. But rarely,
like
that is so rare.
Well, not really Chris Brown because he came back.
Yeah, Chris Brown came back. No one gave a shit. Like, everybody was like so upset about at the time, but nowadays it's like, oh yeah, like
he's a changed man.
I mean, I don't think it's fair to make fun of people who say that he is a changed man, because that does happen in real life, right? Like there are mistakes people make, and they come back from it, and that's another thing about like how we should react to that. A lot of people who do fucked up things, like hit and abuse people, who actually do take the time to better themselves and go out, because Chris Brown did go out of the spotlight for a few years, and I'm sure we don't know the full story, we don't know who the fuck this guy is, but I'm sure in that time he did try to better himself, and I think there might be a reason of why he wants to go back, because I think he might be ready mentally and emotionally for that. So he might be a changed man, and we don't know. And I think that's another thing we have to take into account when we're taking in sort of controversial celebrity stories, is sort of they should also be given a chance as well, just like everyday people, because for a lot of celebrities, it's like you fuck up once and then you're done, and that's very true in that industry. But as human beings, I don't think that we should, castrate them for one little, and I don't want to say little thing, because yeah, it is fucked up when you abuse someone. But I think if you acknowledge what you've done, and if you try to look, I know this is going to get a little religious, which is weird coming from a non-religious person, but if you try to find for forgiveness and try to better yourself and know how to come from that, I think you should be forgiven at one point. But when it comes to people like, fuck, I forget his name, Stickball, fucking, shit, why am I forgetting his name? Fat Albert.
Bill Cosby.
Like, with Bill Cosby, like, that's almost to a point where he knew what he was doing. Like,
and it was over 40 years.
And it was 40
That's
years
similar
ago.
to Jimmy.
Yeah, like, that was like a sort of, what was that, like?
Oh, that was going on for like
30, 40 years
as well.
Jesus Christ.
Bill will fix it.
And it's sort of like that, where has Bill Cosby gotten arrested for any of it?
I believe he had a court date. I don't remember how.
What? It's going to trial,
Yeah.
reported from our tech guy 7. Shout out to 7. I don't give him enough shout outs on the show.
Oh, now the video's going to get fucked.
Yeah, every time I try to shout out 7, he's giving me that look. Like, someone's going to fuck up. So, because
Turns out the microphones weren't even on.
Fuck! No, that already happened last week, okay? I'm so sorry for BCG News the other week. It was so bad. It's okay. We fixed it, sort of.
I think another notable thing, similar to with like Bill Cosby, is I think there's definitely a problem with how we react to this, with the fact that whenever the celebrities really get like ostracized by the American public, it's always black celebrities.
Yeah.
White celebrities are never hit as hard as this. Like,
Because there
Bill
are...
Cosby, Chris Brown, Ike Turner, all their careers were ruined for what they did. But people like Woody Allen or Roman Polanski are beloved, and they're child rapists.
Yeah. I mean, our country is still definitely fucking trying to catch up with what everybody sees and what is obvious. And, like, there are even more. I think Hugh Jackman also, like, abused someone at one point. And it's just... There's definitely still a stigma, and that's obvious when you look at it, when you just give it a second's thought.
And like the really hard part is when it's like someone that you really look up to and respect, and you have to admit to this, that this is happening. Like Bill Murray abused his wife.
Yeah.
And I love Bill Murray.
Yeah.
Who doesn't love Bill Murray?
And I think it is just like sort of, again, I'm not trying to find excuses for like these people's actions, but people also have to remember that just because you're a celebrity doesn't make you this I mean, you should try to be a role model, and you should try to be the best person that you can be, no matter who you are, whether you're a celebrity or whether you're just a normal human being, like Tom Hawkins from Tea Time with Tom Hawkins. And so you should always try to be, but like you got to remember that these are still people, and people still have baggage, and they still have skeletons in their closet. So it's you got to remember that. Okay, yes, this person made me laugh during this movie, or, you know, this person's album made me feel, like, very emotionally resonant. Like, how could they do this? It's just because they're still fucking people, and a lot of people suck. And so you got to imagine that there are some people in this fucking very popular industry of being a celebrity, whether it's movies or music or...
You want a weird one?
What?
Do you remember Random Task from Austin Powers?
No.
Did you ever see any of the Austin Powers?
I saw, like, 2, yeah.
So he was the Odd Job parody character. You know who Odd Job is, right?
Yeah.
So he was the Odd Job parody character, and the actor who played him is in jail for gang rape.
Jesus Christ. Welcome to our country, Tom. Are you sure you want to live here?
I don't know anymore.
I mean, like, what's sort of your perspective on, like, how, especially with America, like, how we treat, like, celebrities and...
Well, yeah, yours is a bit... ours is similar, though. It's just there's less people to watch it, so they are less popular by it. Just that's the way it works. But, I mean, half of our celebrities are yours. You don't watch... Not much of your TV is broadcast not much of our TV, is broadcast in your country, whereas half of yours is in ours. So we like, some people watch like the Kardashians and all that crap, and like we know a lot about your culture, whereas you don't know as much.
There's only
ours.
Specific types of people who know.
So we do know. We hear
culture.
about like the Bill Cosby stuff happening and all these other.
Was
things.
Breaking Bad big over there?
Yes, yeah, it was massive as well.
Hell yeah, it was.
And but so it just. People suck, as you said, and like some people, like it's a small minority. But when it is someone that's famous, they get made. It's not just like the dude next door who's done it, and like only the few people in this area know. It's everyone in the world will find out about it because news stories like to sell news. They like to sell news, so it's a good story for them. So even if it's not true and there's a slight possibility, they're going to report it and make as big a thing out of it as they can.
Yeah, you got the Daily Mail.
Yeah. Yeah, we do.
And because it's sort of the same way how it's sort of just media and the way people report news, and like how it's most accessible is like cable. Like cable news is fucking awful. I think it's the worst it's ever been ever. Just because it's it's like tabloids now.
Well, I
it's
actually
really
stopped
upsetting.
watching the news about 2 years ago.
Yeah, I haven't watched cable news probably since high school. Like when I lived with my parents and they would watch it. Like I have not watched it.
Well,
since.
my theory is, so I deleted all of the news apps on my phone and just got rid of every bit of news, every bit of like every newspaper that exists and every news app. But my the way I work it is that if people will tell you something that's actually interesting and relevant to you, you'll speak to someone, you'll be with your friend after dinner, and he'll be like, "Oh, did you hear about this thing that happened?" And then, because news is depressing. The news is horrible. It's just like, well, what sells? Okay, people dying and people being upset and people doing this. That sells.
Dying, scandals of any kind.
And it's just the same things over and over and over again. And why bother watching it when that's... Of course, that stuff's always been going on in the world in different countries, but we didn't always... I feel like you stress yourself out if you care about people too much. Like I'll stress out that all this stuff's happening, so I just have to. It's a bit naive, slightly, to just close it all off. But you're not built to know what's going on in the entire population of the planet. I don't think.
Yeah, no, you're not. That's, like we put too much on ourselves as a society of like being in the know of everything that's going on.
I think if you worry about the people that you care about and that are close to you, then you'll have a better life. Yeah, but that's getting really deep.
No, that was fucking awesome. I've never gotten to know you like this.
Put your hand in his ass.
No, but that definitely is sort of like we treat a lot of like the celebrity controversies a lot like mass shootings. It's just like and obviously like mass shootings is a different sort of formula of people who are also in that state of mind see mass shootings and see the amount of attention it gets and do that because they want that attention. When it comes to celebrities and when it comes to abusing and whatever they're doing, whatever controversy they're a part of, it's not like they wanted to get more attention that they already have, right? But it is sort of, the media is still treating it in the same way of like, let's make this a bigger fucking deal than it needs to be. Like, yes, they're fucked up situations, but the amount of attention that they are getting is not necessary to us as a society. That's not what's going to help build us. And I know that's not what fucking, cable news gives a shit about, but, it's sad. It's a sad situation.
Yep.
So Johnny Depp. That was the original topic. I mean, it sucks. Like, he is definitely one of those actors who, there are no boundaries. Like, everybody on the planet, for the most part, knows Johnny Depp. So,
yeah, it's like he is part of that triple A list. Like, very few people up there. Like,
he puts butts in seats. That's what he does.
Yeah. It's like he's up there. Tom Cruise is up there. Matt Damon's up there. Robert Downey Jr. maybe a little bit lower.
He's had some ground to gain ever since the 90s, that he was like partying a lot and whatnot.
I think the early 2000s was when his drug addiction was really bad. It was like the space between Chaplin and Iron Man.
Okay. Yeah, it's like, I mean, that sucks to hear, but again, like I said about Chris Brown, of like, maybe because we don't know all the facts, right, with Johnny Depp and whatever the fuck happened. But I hope. Either way, I hope that both of the people, Johnny Depp, and I forget his wife's name. She's in a couple things, and I hope they come out of this learning how to be better people, and because inevitably they are going to be role models to the entire world. So I hope they come out of this and know how to handle these kind of things more properly in the future. So it's a good, nice topic. Mm-hmm. Got a little deep there. Tom Hawkins likes to get deep.
Next up, Big Dick.